My boyfriend brought me to this dinner for one simple reason: to be eye candy. He told me in the car, right as we were pulling up to the valet, "Babe, tonight is crucial. Just smile, drink your wine, and let the men talk. This deal is worth $5 million, and I need you to look supportive. But please, don't try to chime in with your opinions. Just look pretty." He squeezed my hand, thinking he was being affectionate. He didn't realize that while he was busy trying to impress them, I was busy dissecting them. The setting is a private room at the Capitol Grill, the kind of steakhouse where the lighting is dim, the leather is expensive, and the air smells of aged beef and old money. My boyfriend, Ryan, is nervous. I can smell it on him. It's a sharp, acrid scent of adrenaline mixing with his cologne. He's trying to sell his tech startup to a corporate shark named Mr. Vance. Vance is a classic bully. He arrives 20 minutes late, which is a calculated power move designed to establish dominance before a single word is spoken. He treats the waiters like invisible furniture. And when he finally acknowledges us, he looks at Ryan, then slowly looks me up and down with a smirk that doesn't reach his eyes. He asks, "Nice accessory, Ryan. Does she speak, or is she just for decoration?" Ryan laughs nervously. It's a submissive laugh. He throws me under the bus instantly. He says, "Oh, Elena, she's just here for moral support. She's very domestic, not really into the business world." I feel the sting of the insult, but I don't react. I don't frown. I don't shift in my seat. In behavioral psychology, we call this the gray rock method. Be uninteresting. Be a stone. Let them reveal themselves. I take a sip of my water and go into what I call profiler mode. I stop listening to the words and I start watching the biology. The negotiation starts. Vance is aggressive. He attacks his numbers. He calls the company cute and a nice hobby. He uses a negotiation technique called anchoring. He throws out a ridiculously low number, $1 million, to shatter Ryan's confidence. Ryan is sweating. I can see the carotid artery in his neck pulsing rapidly. His fight or flight response is triggered, but he's freezing. He's stuttering. He's about to accept the lowball offer just to make the bullying stop. Vance leans back in his chair, taking up maximum space. He spreads his arms. This is a territorial display, like a cobra expanding its hood. He looks at me again and says, "Boring you, sweetheart? Maybe go check your makeup in the ladies' room while the adults sign papers." That was his mistake. He mistook my silence for ignorance. I put my fork down. The sound of the metal hitting the china echoes in the sudden silence. I look Vance dead in the eyes. I don't look angry. I look curious, like a scientist looking at a bug under a microscope. I decide to use a technique called mirroring. I ask softly, "You think the company is cute?" Vance blinks. It's a rapid flutter. "Yeah, it's small time." I continue, keeping eye contact uncomfortably long. "Small time. So a company with a 200% year-over-year growth and a proprietary algorithm that your competitors have failed to replicate is small time?" Vance shifts in his seat. He crosses his legs away from me. "Well, the market is volatile." I tilt my head slightly to the left. Volatile. In psychology, repeating the last few words forces the other person to explain themselves. It makes liars stumble because their brain has to work double time to invent a new justification. Vance starts rambling about global risks and supply chains. He's losing his rhythm. His voice pitch goes up half an octave. Ryan is staring at me in shock, his mouth slightly open. I wait for Vance to finish his nonsense. Then I use the calculated silence. I don't speak for 10 seconds. I just look at him. The silence is heavy. It's painful. Most people cannot handle this kind of pressure. They feel a compulsion to fill the void. Vance cracks. He starts filling the silence. He says, "Look, I can maybe do 2 million, but that's it. That is my final offer." He just doubled the offer because I didn't speak. But I'm not done. I have been watching his hands for the last 40 minutes. I deliver the final blow. I point to his left hand. I speak with absolute authority. "Mr. Vance, in the last hour, you have touched the tip of your nose 7 times. In forensics, we call this the Pinocchio effect. When a person lies, the erectile tissues in the nose engorge with blood due to a release of catecholamines. It itches. You touch it." He freezes. His hand hovers halfway to his face. I continue. "And your left hand has been covering your mouth every time you mention your other investors, who are supposedly interested. That is a subconscious blocking gesture. Your brain is trying to physically stop the deceitful words from coming out of your mouth. You don't have other investors, do you? In fact, based on the sweat accumulating on your upper lip despite the air conditioning being set to 68 degrees, I would venture to guess that you need this acquisition desperately to save your own quarterly report." The table goes dead silent. You could hear a pin drop. Vance turns pale. The blood drains from his face as his sympathetic nervous system switches from fight to freeze. He knows he's been read like a children's book. He looks at Ryan, his arrogance completely evaporated. He asks, "Who is she?" Ryan looks at me, terrified. He doesn't know who I am anymore. I stand up. I pick up my purse. I turn to Ryan and deliver my own diagnosis. "Mark, for 3 years, you have interrupted me, belittled my intelligence, and treated me like a prop. That is classic narcissistic devaluation. Tonight was the discard phase. But unfortunately for you, you discarded your only asset." I lean in close to him. "The deal is worth 5 million. Don't take a penny less. And find your own ride home. I'm done being an accessory." I walked out of the restaurant into the cool night air. I felt lighter than I had in years. Ryan got the 5 million the next day, but he lost me. This story is a reminder to everyone listening. Never mistake silence for weakness. Observation is a weapon, and sometimes the quietest person in the room is the one holding all the cards. If you respect intelligence over ego, hit that subscribe button. We unpack the truth every week.